much over the last 20 years, I've very much built, you know, multiple premises, you name it. I've been in this model. I've had schools. We've had over 100 schools in the London Borough at one point. We've been in leisure centres. We've been in village halls. I've had my own premises, like duplicated. We've had about 6 or 7 gyms at one point. We've had large teams. We've had small teams. We've built online. We've had experience of franchising. So over the last 20 years, you name it, we've done it in this wonderful industry. I've had many, many successes, but many, many failures as well. And that kind of very much brings me to speak with you, your wonderful selves this morning, because I founded a couple of years ago a business called Gold Medal Business, which is all about supporting you, the children's entrepreneur. So it's a complete mix of all my experience over the last 20 years. And one of the things that I'm incredibly passionate about, and I love to share this with you, is I'm still in the trenches with you guys. I still run classes and gyms. And I think, and I get this is one of probably the biggest feedback from all of our clients, is the experience isn't what worked 20 years ago, it's what's working now. So very much what kind of, you know, sometimes with Facebook ads or things that's working, or we tweaked holiday camps literally 2 weeks ago within our mentorship, because we're like, okay, we've surveyed again the audience and that's not working. So that is then rolled out to everybody in our community. So what you're getting today is like fresh stuff, not stuff that I said worked, say, 20 years ago. So I always love to share that, because I think it's really important whenever I'm learning from someone myself, I always want to know what's their background, what have they done, and how can I learn from them? Because the quickest way to success, you know, we have oodles amounts, don't we? We have oodles amounts of education at our fingertips. The world is full of it. But what it doesn't give you is within your own niche and the roadmap and in the right order that you need to hear it. So I always love to share that with you so you know exactly who you're learning from. So if I get a little bit out of breath, I'm actually 8 months pregnant. You can't see my bump. It's like hiding below. So if I get a little bit out of breath, this is my 3rd child, definitely the last. So if I get out of breath, that's the one thing from this pregnancy that I find I get a little bit out of breath. Just climbing the stairs is a challenge at times. So we're going to move on to holiday camp. So just put in the chat box for me, just so I know who's attending today. Just put in your business that you run, and maybe just put dance business 10 years if you've been in business for 10 years, because I can relate to you, and we're going to have a bit of Q&A at the end as well, so I can really see so you can answer any questions that pop up as we're doing the training. So yeah, just pop that in the chat box for me and I will just get to you, and then I can relate to you and make sure I'm addressing your concerns directly to your business. Lauren, with the chat box, if I just go, oh, there it is. Julie Trampoline, 42 years. Yes. Amazing. Perfect. So I work with, obviously my background is heavily gymnastics, but I work with what we teach is very much related to all the children's industry. So I work with cricket coaches, to tennis clubs, to football camps, to dance, to gymnastics, to art clubs, you name it. The same model applies as long as it's children's activities. So pens and paper at the ready, because I'm going to move quite quickly because we've got lots and lots to crack on with this morning. So we thought this workshop was super relevant with obviously the summer approaching. So I'm just going to start with today the benefits of what holiday camps can give you. Because we all know, oh yeah, well, it's a great little extra for the business, could be a great side, you know, add-on, but what are the actual core benefits and how do you start to implement them into your business? So we're going to cover benefits today. We're going to cover how to set them up correctly. We're going to cover how to theme your summer camp. We're going to cover how to market your summer camps. We're going to cover how to do campaigns. And as I said, time at the end, if we have a time to do a little bit of Q&A together. So the key benefits for you to introduce holiday camps, and I'll say holiday camps because what we're going to work on today, whether it's a half-term camp, whether it's a one-day camp, whether it's a summer camp, Christmas, it's all the same. You can relate it all across the board. Just to touch on this really quickly, because this was a really big success that we've rolled out in the last 6 months. When I say one-day camps, if we have any more teacher strikes are actually a really good time to add on a one-day camp. It was something we tried with, thought, oh, well, we might as well. let's give it a roll, let's give it a whirl and see if this works. And they were a really big success. And over those 6 teacher strike days, obviously in the UK, obviously if you're listening and you're global, they're going to have different dates for that. But there's, when I say one-day camps, you can always be creative. It just, the word camp, or when you've got the kids there for the day, it doesn't just have to be when the school, you know, half term or a holiday. So just think of that always. Hopefully there'll be no more strikes, but you never know towards the end of the year. It can be a really great little add-on that's completely extra to your cash flow. So benefits of holiday camps. Number one, it's an added income stream for you. Now, your base as an activity entrepreneur is always your membership. Your monthly, your termly membership is exactly what is your bread and butter. That is what's paying the bills, that's what's paying your salary, that's paying your coaches, that's what's paying your teachers, that's what's paying your rent. That is your baseline income coming in. Holiday camps can be an extra income stream into your existing business. But I don't want it to be, and I'm just looking for, obviously, if you're very established, and 69 years, amazing. You want to make sure you are ready, and I want to set the scene for this, because so often I see people go, well, I've been running a couple of months, Katie, my classes are going really well, so I'm just going to now add on I'm going to add on a holiday camp and see how it goes, and then I've got another idea for another program, and then we're going to try this new course in September, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like, whoa, there's too much going on. I was like, you're going to end up with half empty stuff everywhere. So if you're brand new, and if you're, I'd say, under like 10 months in your business, and your classes are not completely full, you haven't got clear marketing campaigns, you haven't got a clear student enrollment system, you haven't got new students flowing through the doors, do not even entertain a holiday camp. Because yes, it's a great idea, but it's resources, it's your energy, it's your time to put it together, when you might as well be refining that trial, that class model, ready for a wicked September into December, then do camps next year. Because so often, I'm talking complete from experience, you add on another income stream, you add on your camp, you go for it completely half-heartedly because you haven't got the time, the mental space, the resources to actually pull it together, and you end up with 4 kids a day. And anyone can relate, because I totally can. I did this in my first year. And you went out and you think, well, what went wrong? I thought holiday camps are meant to be really successful. They are, but you've got to treat it like any other brand new program. You've got to put the energy behind it, the marketing resources, the budget behind it. It has to have that, not just, well, I'm going to add it on and see how it goes. Because quite frankly, you're not going to make money out of it. That's the biggest feedback we have, is just not making money from my camps. And normally it's because they're not in the right position in their business to pull it together. I'd much prefer you have a week off, you reset yourself as an entrepreneur, you take the time out for yourself, and you have a smashing September, and you build on July, August for a massive September. So number one is bringing in that income stream. But as I said, don't do it unless you are ready and you have the time to put into it and the team to put into it as well. Number two, benefits of holiday camps is really, really good if you have empty or dead space. So this is great if you run your own facility, if you have your own gym, you have your own studio. This isn't relevant to you if you hire leisure center space, school halls, or anything like that, because they're obviously, you're hiring what you need. There isn't dead space. So holiday camps are really good to add on into original dead space that is already there, that you're paying for. So your lease is running, you've got the building 24/7 already. It makes no difference to you adding on that extra camp, adding on those extra times, because the building is empty at that time anyhow. And that's where, when I was relating to the one-day teacher strikes, that's also a great add-on. If you've got the space anyway, it's extra revenue coming in. So number one is bringing in another income stream. Number two is empty dead space. Number three is establishing a new market. So I love this one, because so often if you're running your ads, let's say you're running dance classes and you're running it to a particular parent, and that particular child might go to another dance school, and they're thinking, oh, that looks really good, but she's currently already going to Miss Sally's dance school. It's only 5 minutes around the corner. It's really, really convenient. but they see your ad and they think, do you know what, Miss Sally isn't running dance classes this summer. And because it's the summer holidays, I don't mind going that little extra further to take her because she's going to be there all day. So you can establish a whole new clientele, because who knows, when they then come to your summer school, your camp, they may suddenly be like, she really loves it here. And we've seen up to sort of 20-30% of conversion when people are operating like that. You're thinking a wider picture. People think differently in terms of weekly class and camp, because I said they've got more flexibility, they've got more freedom. And also their friends might be going to your camp, but they might not be going to the other camp. So it can establish a whole new different market for you in terms of clientele, and, you know, bringing in different location, bringing in, you know, different age groups as well. So the next one, the benefit is it's also a really good time to try new things. So camps are really good. If you've got a burning desire to offer a new service, you've got a new program that you're like, this is going to be wicked, I really want to try this, but I don't quite know how my audience are going to take it. I don't know if my children are going to enjoy it. So rather than put on a whole 10-week course and have like 5 children in it, camps are a great way to try it, because your children that are coming are your best customers ever. So they will give you the feedback. If they don't enjoy it, or you can tweak it and change it, it's a really good way to add in that extra program. You might add it in as an extra hour into their day. So you're not putting all your eggs in one basket and offering it for the whole week, but you may try like an extra hour each day. You try a new discipline of dance, for example. And then you get at the end of each day, go, did you enjoy that, children? What do you think we could make better? What bits should we take out? What should we do tomorrow? And they will tell you, and it's the best time to try new things, develop a new syllabus, develop a new curriculum. Because one of the things, I'm not going to cover this today because we're going to another tangent, but one of the things I see so often is people developing lovely, beautiful syllabuses. It's all color coded, post-it notes. We all know what it looks like. It looks gorgeous. You spend hours and hours developing these programs, these syllabuses, but no one apart from yourself in your head, nobody's had experience of this. So whenever you're developing a new program, I say, do not, whatever you do, sit developing it for weeks on end. You're better to roll out to design 2 weeks, get it in front of people. It's like developing an online course. And I've done this myself, and I've had many mentees that have done the same. It's like developing an online course, and you've asked no one ever for feedback. It's come from your head. You think you know what people want, but you don't. As soon as you start developing and as you start putting the program out there, your customers will tell you what they want. So whenever you're developing anything new, do not design more than 2 weeks worth of lesson plans, and then get the feedback and develop it from their feedback, because they are your best audience. What we think someone wants is often not the case. So you want to give them what they want, not what you feel they need. So we've got benefits, we've got income stream, empty dead space, establish a new market, trying new programs. And the last one in terms of 2 ones for benefits is increasing revenue from your existing clients. So whenever you're advertising your holiday camps, the natural place to start is always your existing clients. So it's a really great way to increase revenue by like 20 to 30% of what your income's coming in. If you've got, let's say, if you've got 200 members within your classes, and you can say convert 20-30% of them into your camp, that's extra income stream that you are not paying extra marketing for, but are already currently loving your classes, trust your service, you already know them. It's an easy ones to pull in. So you can totally get it a lot higher than that, but I'm going to show you in a minute of how to convert that even higher to sort of like, so you can get it definitely up to sort of like 30-40%, where you've got your existing client base. So just think, if you could have 80, if you had 200 students, for example, and you can have 80 of those current students coming to your camps, that is complete extra income stream. That's complete different income that you're not spending a dime on advertising, and they're already coming, they already love your service. They already know what they're getting. And then them children can bring a friend. Then that's how you start to then build out your numbers within your camps. Last one I want to talk about is just work for your team. One of the biggest feedback I get, we do a lot of training on building out your teams because it's the only way to really grow as a children's activity entrepreneur. If you don't want to be burnt out and always doing the classes or feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, you need to start building that team as early on as possible. Some camps can be a great way to hold on to your team, because in this industry, I'm a massive fan of monthly memberships. I personally hate termly because termly creates gaps in your revenue throughout the year. If you can convert to monthly, if you need any support on this, please just put support in the chat box so I know where you need support from going from termly to monthly. I appreciate if you're in school halls and things, sometimes it's not always possible, but we've done monthly within the school model as well. It is doable. But monthly is so much better for cash flow. It's so much better for knowing what's coming in and going out every single month. Termly is really hard to budget for. So otherwise you get this massive chunk of cash in September and then nothing till January, and it goes until you have little, a stream of new people coming in. The monthly is a great way. So I said, if you need support with that, just put monthly in the box below, in the comment box. So when you've got work for your team, the biggest thing you see in this industry is turnover of staff, because if you're working to the termly model, 3 months of the year, there's no work. So 3 months of the year, maybe even a bit more if you're looking at private schools and their holidays. So call it 3.5 months of the year. You've got no regular income coming in because your memberships are stopped. Your staff have no work. And especially if I really believe, I couldn't see this at the time. I really couldn't see it. I shut one of my venues down 12 years ago now. It was a big deal. It was like my second gym I'd opened. I never thought I'd be shutting the premises down. There were a lot of tears and I couldn't see what I'd done wrong. I couldn't see it. But now I can see crystal clear what went wrong. And one of the key things was exactly what I've just said. 3 months of the year, we had a standing lease that needed to be paid month in, month out. But 3 months of the year, we were on holiday. So obviously our holiday camps were bridging the gap, but it was nowhere near enough to what our membership was paying. So I would definitely strongly suggest, if you are in a month, if you've got your own business, like your own lease, and you're paying the same monthly amount, 100% monthly, run throughout the year. We run for 50 weeks of the year and shut for 2 weeks at Christmas, because it keeps it consistent cash flow. And the same with your team. Your team have a job the whole year. They don't, it's not like theme parks where they close for 6 months of the year, then they're open. So it's a great way to hold on to the same team, to offer them more work. So if you are in a termly model, you can literally give them hours, and like, these are your hours during the term, and these are going to be your hours for the summer camp, for the holiday camp, whatever it is. So they've got that work and that consistency there. Cool. So they're the benefits, guys, on the key things on why. There's loads more, but they're the key ones of why adding holiday camps into your existing business model is a great idea. Right. So we're now going to move on to number 2, which is all about setup. So there's 2 things that I want you to do in terms of setting up your camps ready for an explosive summer. So first of all, you need to be thinking about marketing your camps now, if not 6 weeks ago, but you'll know this for next year or the next camp. But you need to be thinking about camps now. And that is, I want you to review. If you're new in business and you can't review, you can only survey, but you can use this exercise for next year. You want to review your year before. So I want you to pull up data of what worked last year. What times did you run? Did you offer a theme? What discounts did you run? What price were you operating at? What numbers did you have on a day-to-day basis? Did people like 1-day camps? Did a lot of people register for a 3-day camp? How many came to the whole week? So you want to be pulling out as much stats as that as possible, because your numbers and your feedback is going to tell you what next to offer. You're then going to survey your audience. So you're going to survey your whole clientele, your whole database, do a good little survey in MailChimp or anything like that. It's so Google Forms, anything. Keep it super easy. Send out an email to your whole database and ask them what they want. So you're in the process of putting together an amazing summer. What you'd like to know, first of all, what would they want to see? So you're wanting to put questions like, are you a full-time working parent? Are you a part-time working parent? Do you take the summer off? Why do you want to know that? Is because if you've got a lot of full-time working parents, you're not going to offer 12 till 3 because that's not childcare for them. So you want to differentiate who's wanting childcare and who's wanting a camp, because they're very different things. So if you're offering a full-time camp, that will probably be like 8 till 6. If you're wanting something that's fitting around part-time parents, you look at a camp maybe 9 till 3. But a 9 till 3 camp is not going to suit someone that needs to be at work at 9 and is finishing at 5. So that's the kind of questions you're asking about their work. What does their child enjoy? Are they going on holiday for the summer? Find out about are they going on holiday for the whole summer? Are they going on holiday for like 2 weeks here and there? If you offered a camp, what would be their preference? And put, you would like to book a full day camp. You're interested in booking 5 straight days. Or would you like the option of maybe booking a 1-day camp or a half-day camp or a 3-day camp? Finance. What would they expect to pay for a full 5-day camp? And remember, this is just feedback, guys, right? This is feedback. Doesn't mean you have to go with, well, they want a camp for 10 quid a week. I've got to do it. Cheap and cheerful, You're just asking their feedback, and you're going to get a ballpark figure and a ballpark idea of what people are asking for. Ask them, what is their child into at the moment? We know this year is going to be Matilda Massive, probably, especially if you're running a dance company. It's very easy to do a Matilda dance camp for sure, because the music is so wonderful. It's so, so good. But Matilda will probably be a huge theme this year within camps. We're going to talk about themes in a minute. So your setup is reviewing your year before and surveying your audience. Because again, I've made this mistake myself many, many times. You think, well, I'm just going to run a camp as we've always done. We've always done it 10 till 3. We just do it the same thing. Why would you just roll it on? But I had feedback from my team about 2 weeks ago. I've always hated 1-day camps. Hate them. Still hate them. Don't want to do it, but I'm going with the audience. And literally, it's because you want people to book for the week. It's much easier if you've got the same kids Monday to Friday, isn't it? Much easier. The whole team, the numbers, Monday to Friday. You've got the same team in place, the same children. And especially if you're doing a performance or something at the end, it's a lot easier to work the same children each week. But my centre managers all came to me on getting feedback. So I asked them, I want you to start asking. We started this in April. I want you to start asking at the door. Just start asking the parents feedback. Ask them in the half-term camp, in the Easter camp. Ask them for their feedback. And the feedback was, we love your 1-day and 2-day options. Can you offer that this year? Because especially if they've gone on a long weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and they just want a 1-day or 2-day camp to fit in. They don't want a full-day camp. So I was really against, literally a couple of weeks ago, doing a 1-day camp, but we've put it as an option this year. And probably we've had more bookings for 1 and 2 days so far than we have for a 4 and a 5-day camp. So go with what works. And it's so easy to think, I really don't want to do that. I've always done it like this. But you always want to be pivoting. You always want to be listening to your audience, because your audience are the ones that are coming. They're the ones that are paying. So make sure you do your research, because every audience is different. So someone like, if you look into like Barracudas, which is a big holiday camp organization that we all know of, Barracudas is very much a camp, I would say, you would send your child to if you want full-time daycare, because they run for a whole day and then they run for a whole week. Again, I think if your child is under 4, you can go mornings, but as a whole, they're very much, if someone wants a full week and they know their child is thoroughly entertained and they know there's wraparound care either side, then they know they can do that. Just be careful. I'm not an expert on this, but just be careful because Ofsted regulations change a lot. If sometimes with full day camps, you need to be Ofsted registered, because it then turns into childcare, not a camp. So there's a reason we've always stuck to sort of 9 till 3. We've never gone there with a 7:30, say 6:30 camp, because when we looked into this 2 years ago, again, it may have changed now because the rules do change. I'm no Ofsted expert, but when you're offering a full day, it can come under childcare rather than activity. And if you want to go down that route with registering Ofsted, then by all means, please do. But it can be a very different ballgame, and very different, you know, the red tape around Ofsted, as we all know, is pretty tight. So we've talked about benefits, we've talked about setup, and we're now going to move on to theme. So please pop, guys, as I'm chatting away, please pop any comments you've got, because I'm aware I'm moving quickly. So I want to do Q&As at the end rather than doing questions as we're moving throughout. Any questions you've got, put in the message box and I can address them at the end. So we've then got theme. So theme, as I said, works really well, especially for, I know we've got a lot, obviously, we've got swimming, we've got trampolining, we've got gymnastics, we've got dancing. It works really well. You could do themed in water, maybe. Matilda props, jumping in and out of the water. I'm not sure how you do theme with swimming, but you can definitely totally do it with different, you know, obstacle courses, different way, you know. Remember, when we're talking theme, if you're doing a swimming camp, for example, they're not going to be in the water for 7-8 hours a day. So your activity, and the same with gymnastics, the same with dance, the same with trampolining, they're not going to be trampolining from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. They might do trampolining from 9 to 11. Then they might break and do arts and crafts for an hour, for example, or some kind of other activity. Then you're going to have lunch. Then you may do fun games and obstacle courses on the trampolines and around the trampolines, for example. So don't think when you're doing a camp, when it's your activity, that you have to keep them busy with your activity and what you specialize in for the whole day. So when I say themed and you're really struggling, think certain sports like football camps, you're thinking, how on earth can I do a theme with some of the camps? But there's creative ways of doing it through games, through your sport, and, you know, as I said, around the outside of your actual activity. So your theme, one, you want to think of a theme. Again, you don't have to have a theme. It's not compulsory. It's just really good if you want to just make your camp stand out. You want to be a bit more creative. You want to make your camp, maybe you've been running for 10 years plus and you want something different. You want to offer something a little bit more creative. So having a theme. So asking, it doesn't, you know, Matilda was just an example, but think of what's been popular. Look at what's popular on Netflix. You know, ask the children in your classes. What are they loving? What are they loving seeing? What are they loving listening to? In the past, you've had Sing 1, Sing 2. You've had Trolls. Yeah, think of what they're all loving. I mean, you can even do as Britain's Got Talent's just finished. You could do like a theme of Britain's Got Talent, and they all do a little performance at the end, and like a little judging panel with awards. You know, you can be really creative. So a theme doesn't have to just be like a jungle theme or a farm theme or under the sea. You can be really creative, but I'd say try to match it in terms of age groups. When you're doing themes, I would keep themes 7 and under. Don't do themes for age 7 and above, because by then they've lost interest. So let's say for gymnastics, you would do a theme. Let's say it's Britain's Got Talent theme for under 7s, and they're doing a little routine at the end, and they all get, you get a little buzzer, you get a little bell, and they all get a medal at the end. And don't buzz anyone out and send anyone home, obviously, but you could be really creative with that. Age 7, 8 and above, something like the Britain's Got Talent theme would work quite well for that age group, but something like Trolls or Matilda isn't. So I often find what works really well for kind of like 7, 8 and above is doing a dedicated skill workshop. So you might call it like a bit of an intense course. So you may say, example, for dancing, if you want to put on a specialized contemporary workshop for age 8 upwards, so between 8 and 12, they don't have a theme, but they have a workshop. So you may say, for this particular week in August, it's for ages 8 to 12 years, and we're working on contemporary dance styles. That is the theme. It's like a mini workshop. You might want to call it a workshop as opposed to a holiday camp, because at that level they're wanting to learn. They like performing. They're wanting to learn. Yes, they're going to have a bit of arts and crafts and fun and games, of course, but they're really learning that skill. That's why intensive swimming courses work really well as well. So you can really take it from the theme to having a dedicated skill workshop. So they're coming out with that skill. And that really, really resonates with the older market for sure. So you've got deciding on a theme, and don't decide a theme by yourself. Get your team involved. I said, get the kids involved. Don't spend weeks on it. As I said, I want you marketing your camp by next week. So we're going to have a quick turnaround on this. So you literally have a quick conversation, come up with a theme. Don't dwell on it too much. Just come up with something and run with it. And then workshops, make it skill specific. So when you've got the theme, especially this works well if you've got I'd say if you've got your own premises, this works well, but you can totally do it in a village hall and leisure centre as well, is there's so many places that you can buy resources so cheap, like arts and crafts. Remember, what you buy this year, you can use next year as well. So get stocked up on, colouring books and paints and, being creative with arts and crafts. If you were doing something like a jungle theme, how could you make that creative for under sevens? They could create like a little mask. Yeah, they would love that. Creating like a little mask. Make the place look like a jungle when you come in. We did this one year. It cost us about 50 quid. Got all the decorations off Amazon and we kept them, and we've got them in storage in different boxes under different themes. So we just bring them out. We also use them for parties as well. So you may say, right, let's just say if it's a jungle theme, how could you make the gym, the studio, how could you make it look different? So you could have like little monkeys hanging from the ceiling. You could have a palm tree in the corner. Yeah, you could have some treasure. If it's pirates and mermaids, yeah, you could just have things that, as I said, they don't cost much, but they make the world of difference. And then you tie that theme in throughout the week of like, making a jungle mask, making, a jungle poster. You don't have to be like arts and crafts whiz. Just use Google as your best friend for this. I certainly am not. I used to love Blue Peter. I don't see where it went wrong. I used to love Blue Peter and making things when I was younger. I'm awful at it now. I don't think I've got the patience. But literally, you don't have to be a whiz. Literally, just use YouTube or one of your team members. Asking your team members who's good at making things. And so you can really, really be creative with it so that you don't think, God, I've got to do gymnastics for the whole 8 hours. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to have to do trampoline. Oh my goodness, how are we going to fill this time slot? Because I totally used to think like that. I used to think, well, if they come into a gym camp, they've got to do gymnastics the whole day. But they really, really don't. You can be creative. So we've covered benefits, we've covered setup, we've covered theme. We've now going to talk about marketing. So marketing is very much really thinking about when you've got your theme, when you've got your setup and you know what you're marketing to, you now want to market in the right way and to the right person. So when you're marketing, you must know your ideal clients. So what I mean by that is we all know we're marketing to children, but obviously you're marketing to their parents because they're buying the service. Make sure you're splitting your ads into different age groups. Don't market a jungle theme and workshops all in one go. That's the biggest mistake I see, which is why you don't get enough traction from your marketing, because you're then going to, let's say you are marketing on one advert. Let's say you're doing a Facebook ad or you're doing a poster. You've got on there camp workshops from age 4 to 15. And for the younger age group, we're going to do a jungle theme. For the older age group, we're going to do a workshop focusing on contemporary dance. You're hitting completely different markets there. So I want you to think in your client's eyes. If you've got a 4-year-old, you're looking for something different than you are if you've got a 12-year-old. How you talk to them. So you're not going to use words. It's a bit like a preschooler. So if you've got an ad out there for a preschooler, you're going to use words like nurturing, parent interaction, social skills, building coordination. You're going to use that for a preschooler, but for an 8-year-old, you're going to be looking at developing their skills, building their body strength, burning off all that unwanted energy so they're not sitting in front of their iPads at home. You're going to speak very differently. So think the same within your camps. Think exactly the same, because the biggest mistake, I see adverts all over the time on Facebook and they're like, is your child age 2 to 18 years old? Come to da-da-da-da-da. And you break down all that you offer and then it's not hitting anyone. You're trying to hit a massive audience. You're trying to hit that massive, so really break it down, and that's how you'll get a lot more traction. Even when you're marketing to your own database, when you're marketing to your own clients, again, break it down. On LoveAdmin, it's super easy to go, obviously, this age group, break it down. Only send an email to the age 4 to 6 year olds if you're doing Matilda. If it's workshops, make sure that email only goes to age 8 and above. Because when you're marketing, you want it, remember, we're like goldfishes. We've got attention spans of like 4 seconds in marketing. I think everyone's getting worse as well. You want it now. You want to see it now. If the message isn't clear and speaking to you, life's busy. Parents are busy. They will think, oh yeah, I will act on that. And then another 2 weeks goes past. And you wonder why they haven't booked yet. It's because it wasn't obvious to them that this was direct to them. So always think that. Make it super clear, super easy. And super in their face of, this is for your child. Are they 4? Would they enjoy this? So making sure when you've got your ideal client, you've split up who you're speaking to, your text and your copy. That's your copy is everything. Social media, landing pages, emails, any piece of content going out, that is your copy. And you don't have to be overwhelmed by writing 100 pieces of copy. Please maximize the same content. So the same email that you're writing to your parents, chunk it up. Your one email could probably be 4 posts on social media. And obviously tweak it to the platform that you're using. Not just going to put dear parent. You might put attention, attention 4-year-olds who are loving watching Matilda, for example. So you're making sure your piece of content can be then rolled out on different platforms. If you need help with that, guys, put content in the chat box, because when it comes to content is a massive system. It's a massive piece, and it's something I see people so overwhelmed with and spending hours every week developing emails, developing marketing campaigns, developing all of different parts. And it can be super overwhelming, but it doesn't need to be. Like everything, I'm a massive firm believer. You'll hear me till I'm blue in the face with this. I love a system. There are over 400 systems in a children's activity business that you can implement. When your business is run by systems, that's when you know you are the CEO of your business, not the business owner, and you can move out of it and it's running daily without you. Systems get you time freedom. You doing everything does not. So content is no different. When you setting it up, yes, it's a bit of a brain ache, like anything. When you were learning LoveAdmin, bit of a brain ache. When any new platform, it's always a bit of a brain ache technology, but once it's up and running, you see the benefits and you see the time that's come back. So building a system and content is no different at all. There are so many different ways you can get your name out there on like half an hour to an hour a week, basically, but be seen everywhere. People always say to me within my gyms, within Gold Medal Business, they often say, we see you in so many different places. And I'm like, and it doesn't take hours. I have someone creating stuff for me now. I didn't always have, but they do that on 2 to 3 hours a week. Monday is our content creation day. So chunking up different content. This webinar, for example, I will ask Lauren for the recording, and she will chunk up, my assistant will chunk this up probably into 40 different pieces of content that we can use a different advice here and there. So you're maximizing your time, and that comes with a content system. And what you're doing here, I don't go into it too much, but once you've done it for, say, holiday camps, you can roll it out to every different aspect of your business. Student enrollment, parties, soft play, if you're doing soft play, workshops, discounts, anything. You can have a system for absolutely every piece of your business. So moving on to that, once you've kind of got your marketing and you know who your ideal client is, you're wanting them to create a marketing campaign. And basically, when I say a campaign, you're not hitting the streets with posters. It's not that scary. A campaign is literally just a series of content. So call it 8 emails, call it 20 social media posts. So from now till summer, so let's say mid-July, your audience, your current database, because they're going to be in your campaign to start with, your database are going to be getting emails once or twice, I recommend twice a week, one on a Monday, one on a Thursday. And in your campaign, you're going to write, say, 10 to 12 emails talking about the benefits of your camp. And so often you might get scared of the whole selling aspect. Like, I'm just selling. What do I say? Join my camp, join my camp, join my camp. You're not saying that 12 times over. You will get unsubscribed to, but you're talking about add in there, like, what are the benefits of joining your holiday camp for their child? Add in some testimonials. One email could be, Angela's little boy Ben came to our holiday camp in Easter, and this is what she had to say. Put in Angela's testimonial. If you would love your child to really benefit like Ben did, click here to book your place for summer. That's one email. Put the same on social media. So when you're getting testimonials, this is why it's so good. You can maximize testimonials till your heart's content. They do your marketing for you, and they've given you the testimonial. You haven't done any work there. So I would really recommend a mixture of testimonials, benefits, your experience from running camps over the last however long, and also put in there what, children, what the children love about it, what the children have said. Break down what they're going to be doing in these camps. You could even do a series of emails, on the Monday and the Tuesdays, we're going to be covering this. That's email 1. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're going to be covering this. Or you could do a general breakdown of what the week looks like. So whenever you're doing marketing is when you're sending, as long as it's got a call to action, click here to book your child into camp. That is a marketing, that is an offer. And I never want you to be scared of making offers. You should be making offers in your business every single day, whether it's booking a party, booking a camp, booking a class, recommending, putting a testimonial in here and book here to find out more. That is still an offer. The reason we see so many times trial numbers down, camp numbers down, is because we're scared. I had a text from one of our clients yesterday, and she said, Katie, she was part of one of our programs last year, and she said, Katie, I can't find in our membership platform how to follow up with this client. I called them on Monday, and it's been 2 weeks now, and I need to know how to not sound pushy and how to be like softly go around it. But I need to call her back because I know she wants to join. Okay, why have we left it 2 weeks? She needed a phone call that next 24 hours. Yep, she's an ideal client. She wants to join. Do not feel pushy. You have you're a sales organization. Whether you like it or not, you're in business. You're selling a product. So get out your head. If there's any pushy, is there any thoughts? Oh, I don't want to be too pushy. Oh, I don't want to push them too much. Are they interested or not? They will tell you. If they're not interested, they will tell you. And most likely we have sales teams that call in clients every single day. So let's say if someone books a trial today through Facebook ads, they will get a call for the next 2 weeks until they have either converted that trial or booked that trial. But the call can often be a voicemail. It might be a text. It might be email. Again, testimonials, benefits. We hope you loved your trial. Click here to hear Angela's story. So it's touch points, it's soft touch points. But majority of the time, I'd say 95% of feedback we get is, thank you so much for calling me. You're on my list. I haven't forgotten. You've got sports day and it's so busy. Yes, I'm ready now to book. So you're not pestering them. And they will certainly tell you if they say, look, I'm really not interested at this time. I will look at this again in September. Thank you so much for your feedback. Much appreciated. We're going to give you a call in September. Have a wonderful summer. Are you a yes? Are you a no? But that's the way to really convert people quicker. And also you'll look a lot more professional as an organization rather than, oh, they've left me. There's nothing worse than people come back to me and go, well, you didn't follow up with me. He was interested in a trial and no one called me. Because then you're like, oh, I've missed the sale there. I've missed a new client. So the same with when you're building out these campaigns, never feel like you're being pushy. If you're sending 5 emails a day to someone, yeah, you're being pushy. Don't do that. Okay. But 1 email a day over a course of 2 weeks, when you're pushing a summer camp campaign, totally fine. 2-3 emails a week, 4 emails a week, totally fine. So never feel like inboxes are busy. Almost think of it this way. You want to be at the top of someone's inbox quite a lot so they don't forget you. You never want to be at someone's bottom of their inbox because you never get seen. You want to be at someone's top of their inbox. So when you're doing your campaigns, so it can be a mixture of emails, it can be a mixture of social media. and mix it up. Make sure I said in there, as I mentioned, you've got testimonials, put in early bird offers. I recommend having an early bird offer between now and end of June. So maybe something like 30% off when you book a 5-day camp. Don't offer discounts on the 1 and 2 days. But if you book a 5-day camp, 30% off if you book before the 30th of June. That's a really great little early bird offer. If you're doing Facebook ads for your camps, obviously I don't know all your individual businesses, but my first response when I think of running Facebook ads for camps, now again, every business is different, so it's not till I see numbers and figures, but normally if you've got a small marketing budget, I would rather you be putting that marketing budget on trials, booking trials. So that is almost think your trials is your biggest income earner. You're getting new members in is your biggest income earner. Your camps is your second. So your budget and pulling people in the top of the funnel, or the top of the bit, as we call it, that is pulling in trials, new members. From there, you can then convert. So at the minute, we've got an offer running that anyone who books a trial between now and the middle of July, and they become a member, they get 30% off summer camps. So I would rather see you promoting with a main funnel, a main offer running of just booking a trial and putting all your budget into one funnel rather than splitting it into 2 different ads, and convert off the back end. Once they're in and they've enjoyed the trial, how about summer camp? If budget's not an issue and you're very established and you can run 2 campaigns at once, so you have, say, 2 Facebook ads running, one for book a trial, one for summer camp, then great, go for it. But as I said, if budget's tight and you want to maximize Facebook to the best of your advantage, do the first one, because you don't want to be spread across 5 different places and do teeny budgets and not get nothing in one place. Facebook doesn't work like that doesn't like that very often, and you won't get the amount of leads that you want. So all good, amazing. Everyone's still awake. Give me a wave if we're still awake. Right, as we come to the end, I hope you found that super useful. And sorry, I've moved super quick, so we've had so much content to fit in the last hour. So I would love to hear, we've got about 6 minutes, Lauren, about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to spotlight anyone? Does anyone have any burning questions that they want to ask me? Or pop in the chat. Any major questions, guys? Or we're all good? Cool. Right, a few people have put content support. So I will get in touch with what I'm actually going to put. If you need help, this is my direct email. If you need help, this is much easier on here. If you need support with anything to do with content or anything I've talked about today, that's my direct email. So just whiz me over an email and I'll aim to get back to you by the end of the day, by tomorrow. But yeah, the main thing as we come to a close with camps is it's just making sure camps can be super profitable for you. But the main thing is that it just, like I talked about at the very beginning, it's all about planning. Okay, it's all about planning. It's so easy just to whack on a camp, think, well, it's going to be easy money. I might as well just pop on, where it doesn't need too much thinking behind it. For you to make it a really successful camp, it does take planning. It does take, even if it doesn't need to be weeks on end, you could literally pull this all together within 5 or 6 hours, building out your emails, thinking of your theme. Doesn't have to be a big project, and then roll it out. And remember, what you do, any content you create, you can use for your next camp. You can reuse the same content. So you can use the same content next camp. And if you need to change the theme or you change it slightly, then you change it slightly. But the main bulk of it is super, can be used again and again and again. You just make small tweaks. So as we round up, guys, if anyone needs further support, we've got a great opportunity I'm going to pop it in the chat for you. We have a VIP opportunity running at the moment, which is a great way if you want more support on holiday camps, content, if you want more support with growing your student numbers, growing your team. It's a really great program that teaches you the real key fundamentals of a children's activity business. So I'm going to pop that in the chat for you. It's vipwithkatie.com. Let me just make sure, let me just grab the link properly for you so it comes up as a clickable link. There it is, that's the better one. Cool. So yeah, as I said, it's a real great program if you're looking for not only self-study, but you're looking for accountability and coaching. I'm a massive fan of the coaching and accountability and building relationships part, rather than just taking a self-study course here and there. And the biggest reason is, throughout all my experience as an entrepreneur over the last 22 years, I've always been coached. I've always been trained. I've always been mentored. Whenever I've done self-study courses, life gets in the way, doesn't it? It gets busy. And you promise yourself you're going to do it, and it's still that course that you never get done. So I'm a massive fan of the hand-holding and the nurturing approach, because that's where you get results. The results aren't in self-study, they're within accountability and community and giving you the support that you need.